Hello and welcome to this episode of the Business Spotlight. Today we are joined by Richard from ATP Enable. Hi, Richard.
Hi, Mark.
So thanks very much for joining us today. So we're really excited to learn a little bit more about you, a bit more about your business. So for those of you joining us today on the Business Spotlight for the first time, the Business Spotlight's an opportunity for you to learn a little bit more about business, what it's like to run a business and be inspired by the people we interview on this podcast. And if you're thinking about getting into business or struggling with some of the challenges that business brings, or even just thinking about getting into entrepreneurship. So, Richard, if you could just kick things off for us by telling the viewers who you are, what you do, and how long you've been doing it for.
Yeah, of course. So, hi, Mark. I'm Richard. I'm 39, married father of three, specialising in secure SIMs and mobile contracts. I've been doing it now for worryingly 23 years. But yeah, that's essentially what we do here at ATP.
Fantastic. That's brilliant. Thanks for that. So, Richard, what makes you different from the other people that do what you do in your sector? Or what makes you stand out from other businesses?
So the mobile market is a fairly saturated market. You have many competitors, standard network operators, your likes of EE, your Vodafones, your O2s. Underneath that is what we potentially we call resellers. So guys that have experience in the market, they vet through what's the right price for the customer based on their usage. Where we differ is we have a secure SIM. When friends ask at the pub, what does that really mean? I essentially explain that we ruin the lives of 13-year-old boys everywhere. So the stuff that you shouldn't be looking at online, we have the ability through our technology to actually stop that. So the internet is a fantastic place. It's full of material for learning. It's a great way to engage. It's a great way to communicate. The bad thing is it's also a very dark and dangerous place. Especially when you start talking about minors, anybody under 18. There's a large growing issue in the UK around the digitally excluded. So children that don't have access to the internet at home, and 84% of homework is completed online. And we are the only people in the world that offer content filtering at cellular level. That really is what makes us different from anybody else out there.
Wow, that's very, very niche specialist stuff there. So thanks for that share, Richard. So what's the journey been like so far? I mean, just bring us from where you started, why you started, and bring us up to speed to where you are now.
Where we started, roaming between Costa Coffees in central London just to find somewhere to do some work. We then upgraded to garden furniture in the garage, and finally took our first premises 2 weeks before COVID. So we ended up relocating the office from London to Hertfordshire with all of the issues that surrounded the pandemic. Yep. And are now in a more permanent location just in Buntingford in Hertfordshire. Keep adding to the staff. And have grown into a much bigger business.
Fantastic. Lovely part of the world, Buntingford as well. Lovely part of the world. So what's the future look like? What sort of challenges do you think you're going to get coming up going forward?
I think that the biggest challenge we have at the moment, which was why we were really interested to do the podcast with you guys, was about communicating the challenge. The market we sit within is heavily regulated. If you are a school, local authority, council, you're mandated by law to meet a number of requirements. So many may not know if you're not in this industry, but if you are an IT manager or procurement officer for anybody publicly funded, if I provide you with one of these shiny things, it's my responsibility that the content that you view. So it's communicating that to people within different divisions, whether it's governance, compliance, HR, IT, procurement. There's a lot of people that you need to convey the message to, but it's a way of securing that content to make sure that it's safe. We've got great ambitions ahead. It's a widely untapped market. As I say, we're the only people in the market currently that offer this. But yeah, we've got plans of grandeur. It's not just the UK we're aiming for. It's already working in the US, many regions in the EU. And I think one of the other growing markets on the secure side is the IoT market. It's, again, a rapidly growing market. I think they're estimating another 3 billion connections in the next 2 years, because SIMs go in everything, in doorbells, smart water meters, gas meters, electric meters, you name it. If it's a device that's reporting back in any way what's happening on that device or to see what's happening on that device, it's typically a SIM that's placed in that to do it. And currently, as we mentioned, your standard networks and other IoT SIM manufacturers, they don't secure this traffic privately. So we're the only people that can offer a cyber protection at cellular level to protect people's networks.
Wow, that's a phenomenal share. Thank you very much for that, because I know that there's going to be a lot of people watching that are going to get some real value from that, Richard. So moving on to yourself then. So as the business owner, what's been your biggest lesson so far that really stands out there for you?
Delegation. I'm a perfectionist that wants to do everything myself and oversee everything, but you very quickly realise that there's not enough hours in the day as you grow as a company. There are elements I'm very good at, but not very good at. So you have to hire the resource accordingly to do so. So we've taken on new marketing, we've taken on internal finance, we've got support execs, really to help grow the company. And it's giving confidence that you've trained them well enough that they are incentivized to help support you, because essentially it's like a big family that's going on the journey with us. And I think that's one of the big areas that has really helped us, or the lesson I suppose I've really learned is that you can't do this on your own. To be a growing, fledgling business, it's to make sure you've got the resource and the staff and team to work with you.
Yeah, that's so powerful. I think that's the key thing. And a lot of business owners that I speak to, I think it was not spoken to him personally, but Richard Branson that said, train your staff well enough so that they can leave, but treat them well enough that they stay.
Yeah.
Yeah, very key thing, team, building and growing a team. So let's go back in time. I'm going to ask you a pretty loaded question, but just humour me, if you will, that we've got a time machine. We're able to jump in it. We're going to go back and you're going to give yourself one single piece of advice, an 18-year-old Richard. What would that single piece of advice be?
Don't rush. Some of these journeys and some of the stories you read about, and I think a lot of this is advertised now on social media, is this life of rapid wealth, and everything's expected in 20s and early days, and you see all these teen millionaires. The money's a byproduct. I think if you look at many of the other podcasts that you watch, it's something I regularly do in terms of reviewing the Stephen Bartlett's and all these other entrepreneurial podcasts. If you look at those that have been the most successful within their life, some of the billionaires in their 60s, 70s, and 80s, your greatest commodity is time. And you can't rush it. Essentially, if you pick the path that interests you, the path that keeps you excited every day, the money ends up becoming a byproduct. It's something that gives you choices, gives you options. Just don't rush. I think that would be the one advice.
Yeah, I think that's a really sound piece of advice as well, Richard. So yeah, thanks for sharing that one. So what is it that you yourself get the inspiration from? What puts that fire in your belly to give you that sort of gumption to do what you do daily, weekly, monthly?
I think it'd be my family. I've got 3 girls, and when you get absorbed into this marketplace about online activity, behaviour, it's always a tough subject to talk about, but grooming and the sexualization of minors and the dark and dangerous place that you can find on the internet and Meta and all these other creations that you see. 3 girls does make you worry. They're all sitting there with iPads. So I always wanted to be able to do something to protect them. And you can protect them when you're out together, when you're on holidays, at home. When they're online, you've got that limitation about the content you can protect them from seeing, the access they have, the ability for people to be able to speak to them remotely without your knowledge when they're sitting on iPads in bedrooms. So I think that the kids is a big driver for me. To leave a legacy that money was something, but I tried to do something good and trying to make access online, adults as well, but for minors particularly, for it to be a safe environment for those that want to learn. And showing my age, but mine used to be homework was researching an encyclopedia at Nan and Grandad's. But the available content now is so readily available in such vast quantities that a lot of algorithms written by the social giants and the corporate giants in this world, it's constant engagement and not typically positive constant engagement. If there's any negative side around pro-anorexia, pro-suicide, there's umpteen stories you'll see in the news articles today and in recent years that have affected minors because they are so engrossed on digital activity. It's years ago, you had problems at school, you came home, you were with your family. Now problems can follow you home. And I think that's one of the things that, keeps driving me is to, it sounds a bit cliche, but try to make a change, try to do something for good.
Yeah, no, that's powerful stuff too. And I respect you for that. So yeah, great share. So just to wrap things up then, have you got any sort of latest news or any offers that you'd like to share, or just quite simply how people, if they want to know more, can get in touch with you, Richard?
Yeah, so we've spent a long time creating a partnership with Exertis. So they are one of the largest IT distributors in the country. Our launch day is tomorrow. So there will be a post on LinkedIn tomorrow with the launch day. And we're running a kind of personal campaign this year for digit included children. So we're speaking to a number of councils and authorities that are running digit inclusion schemes, gaining their advice into what they're doing, how they're battling this at the moment. So if you are a school, if you are a specified authority that's looking at this, we'd love to understand what you're doing and if we can engage to offer our advice in this journey over the last 7 years. And fingers crossed in the coming months, this will be a consumer-based product as well. So at some point in the near future, there will be a way to procure these. So if you are a parent and you want to make sure that your kids are safe online, then there'll be a sim out there available to procure to make sure that, if they are 6 or 7, they are only seeing stuff that a 6 or 7-year-old should see. So, dates to be announced, but this year.
Fantastic stuff. So, sorry, Richard, what's the best way for people to find out more information? You've got a website?
So, best things to the website. So, atpenable.co.uk. Presence is on LinkedIn. But best ways to reach out to the website or contact the team in the office, and I'd be happy to tell them more.
Fantastic stuff. Well, Richard, it's been an absolute pleasure chatting to you today on the Business Spotlight. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Mark.
Thanks very much. And to all of our viewers today, thank you very much for watching. Until next time, we'll see you all again very soon. Bye for now.